So for our online people, I guess you guys will just work with me, and we'll, I'll choose people, anybody who wants to be, we'll just kind of rotate around the room for those people who are online. Okay, so, all right, is there anybody that is adamant that they do not want to do this? Great, fantastic. Right, okay, so, all right, so how many, is this everybody in the room? Is my sister over there part of us? Okay, all right, so well then I guess what, you guys can all group up, and you guys can take turns in being, right? So you're going to rotate being empathetic, being tactless, and being the discloser. Okay. All right. So we're going to do this. We're going to 15 minutes, and then we'll come back together. Okay. Yes.
I'm a little unsure of what are we supposed to talk about? I mean,
so
we're just making stuff up, or
you can, I mean, I don't, this is not for anybody to, I don't want you to be, it's a make-believe, right? Right. So we fake it. So, I mean, unless you feel like you want to be the truth, honest, right? But basically what we're doing is you are the sister. One person is going to be the sister with a problem.
Right.
All right. And you're going to be sharing your problem. And then, so you guys have to decide what role you're going to play to begin with. I'm going to be this person. I'm going to be that person. I'm going to be that person. All right. And then you're going to actually do a role play, right? So you're doing two role plays. One role play is with the empathetic listener. Then the other role play is with the tactless listener, the person who says all the wrong things, right? And
so
then
the tactless person is kind of going to do those things up there that you're not supposed to do. Is that what the thing is?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. All right. Yeah, and the person, I mean, we haven't talked about these things yet because we're gonna go through this afterwards, right? But you just be horrible. Right? Do you know what I mean? All right. Okay. Sisters online. So if you guys group together, come on, get together. Get together. All right. So sisters online. I'm trying, how do I open this?
If you go ahead and click on this, they'll show you that there are 9 people.
Okay, how do I make this big?
Right here. So they'll show you all the names.
Okay, but how do I make this screen big?
You can just like make it bigger. No, from here. Okay, and here we go.
We're doing one-on-one.
Just like that, or you can see it from here.
All right, so do I have a volunteer for who wants to be the sister that is disclosing her issues? Can someone, I don't want to have to call on someone. You have about 5 more seconds. 5, 4,
There's someone
3.
chatting also in my down here. Look at the chats. Maybe someone will be saying, okay, walaikum salam. So guys, raise your hand if you would like to participate.
Right. Okay.
You can actually see them if you see the hands up.
All right.
I don't know if you can see it from here.
So
or you can see it. Go down. Okay. So go over here. Let's see if anyone raising their hand. Nobody. Okay,
all
guys,
right,
you need to participate.
Okay, so then this is what we're gonna do. We are going to have Huda. I nominate you to be the sister who is coming to disclose that you have an issue. And Javeria, you are going to be my sister who is not very good at responding to her issues. Okay? Well, you guys, I gave you the opportunity to choose and nobody chose. So now, all right, ready, Huda? Okay, where's Huda? All right, so Huda, are you gonna, Can you please disclose your issue?
People not online because I'm not really.
Make up a story. It's just, you know, this is nobody's supposed to give their real problems. I don't want to hear your real problems. Like this is a make believe.
Family issues or friendship or what exactly?
Anything you want. Anything you want.
So let's say.
Javaria, I hope you're listening because you're the one that's supposed to be.
I am listening. I'm here.
Okay. Okay, go ahead, Javaria.
Okay, so I gotta tell you a problem, right?
Okay.
Javaria, Huda's about to tell you her problems, Javaria.
Okay, go ahead, tell me your problem, sweetheart.
Make a problem from us. That's okay. Okay. Close friend, for example, let's say I have a close friend that I trust and all, and another person also included. Let's say we were a group of friends, it's better to say. And we were like gathering for Islamic advices and do it together, encouraging each other to go, you know.
No. So this, okay, let me give you an example.
Okay, can I do the problem? I know what you're saying.
Okay, so Huda, you be the listener because Joaria is ready with the problem. Okay, come on then.
Okay, so I'm gonna tell you a problem.
Okay.
My problem is that my husband doesn't listen. Okay, he is entertained with everything that's happening outside this house. He's entertained with listening to people telling him what to eat, even though that he doesn't eat any processed foods. He doesn't eat salt. Everything is made from scratch.
Why is that a problem? Why is that a problem?
No, I'm gonna tell you what's the problem. Hang on. I get there.
Do you think that's a problem, sis? There's sisters with real problems out there. That's not a problem.
But this is a problem. I'm gonna tell you why it's a problem. Because my paycheck was short $400 and it got direct deposit into his account, into our account. And he found out today, mind you, that I sent him an email 2 days ago telling him why.
I think if you have these problems, you should just you should take it to Allah, sister. I don't think you should be telling me these things.
But he has to listen.
No, you have to listen to your husband, sister. No, sister, you must listen to your husband. This is haram, sister. This is haram.
How am I going to listen to my husband when he doesn't listen?
Because Allah says you're supposed to listen to your husband, sister. Haram.
So I'm supposed to just sit there and be quiet and let him yell at me because he didn't read an email?
Look, sis, you had to fear Allah. Fear Allah. Allah has made him the imam over you, and this is not right. You coming to me with these problems. You know what? I'm gonna call your husband tonight, and I'm gonna tell him these things that this is you shouldn't do this. Okay? Haram, sister. Haram.
Okay.
All right. What do you think about that? Feedback.
It was terrible.
Why? How did you feel? How did you feel with my response?
I didn't feel any help. I feel judged. I didn't feel, that doesn't happen. I just gave you a scenario.
But
I wouldn't feel like no help at all. I understand we fear a lot. I understand we respect our husbands and all these things, but you got to live the day by day.
Anybody else? What do you think about that exchange?
I felt so bad about it.
Huh?
It was so toxic. I felt frustration, like you are not helping at all. It's just like you are some oil on the fire.
Right.
Yeah, that's how I felt, like there was no help.
Right. Okay. Anyone else got any feedback?
Well, it seems like you just told her that you don't care, like pretty much shut up and put up with it. It's your duty. Like, like, just pray to Allah and be quiet. That's how it is. That's how women are supposed to operate. Don't complain.
Right.
That's pretty much why it sounded to me.
Exactly. All right. So who wants to, let's replay this the right way. Who wants to give me an example of how we could do this? I'm going to choose somebody if you don't volunteer. All right. Okay. So I'm going to have Ashley. Joaria is going to come to you, and this time you're going to tell us how we should do it instead of how we shouldn't do it. Okay?
Okay, so here is my problem.
Ashley,
my problem is that my husband doesn't listen. I sent him an email 3 days ago telling him my paycheck was going to be short $400 this week. And he yelled at me when he checked the bank account because he didn't read the email.
Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm picking up dinner in the drive-through, but instead of sending an email, why didn't
I told him, but he was too busy talking to a customer. Yes, and he was too busy talking to a customer about food.
Well, they're supposed to do the same discussion over there. But
can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
I can hear you, yes.
Okay.
Katie, are you?
So no, I was saying instead of sending an email, why didn't you give him a call or maybe over dinner when you guys are having dinner? You did.
I did, but he doesn't listen. He's on the phone checking Facebook. He's on the phone talking to his family in his home country. He's on the phone. He doesn't listen.
Okay, did you try talking to him when he wasn't on the phone, where you had his undivided attention?
Yes, today when he was yelling at me because my paycheck was short $200. This is a true story, by the way. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
all right. So, okay.
I just want to say hi
to
Ashley.
So, Ashley, how did you, Joaria, how did you feel with Ashley's response?
She asked me if I was able to talk to him. I mean, she was trying to find out if I did my due diligence here. And I did. But I'm going to tell you what happened. That actually happened, and one time. And then after that, he read the email and he apologized. But so after that happened, it was a learning experience because it doesn't happen anymore now.
Ashley, let me ask you a question. Why was your response to ask her if she'd sent, what your response? Can you tell me why you responded to her the way that you did? What were you thinking?
Thought process, most men aren't frequent checkers of their email. And so sending an email, especially if you don't have like a read receipt, you don't know that person has actually received your message.
Okay.
And so it's something as important as the check being short $200.
400.
I feel it's 400. I feel it's better if that's a conversation that's in person. So you know that the person is receiving the message and the information, opposed to sending it over email that could get lost into spam or just overlooked.
Okay.
You're right.
All right.
You're right. You're absolutely right.
Okay.
But it was an experience. We went through that, and after he was done yelling, I let him yell. I let him scream at me and all the things. And I just sat down, I started laughing, and he got really mad. And he said, "Why are you laughing?" I said, "Check your email."
Can you find out if they finished their role play? Because they can come and act in front of the camera.
Katie.
All right. Well, thank you guys for doing that. I'm gonna have my in-person group do a role play in front of the camera.
Oh, what?
All right. They didn't know they were going to be acting, but so they're gonna come over here, and because they've been over there practicing. So we're gonna have them come up to the camera. I'm gonna step aside because I'm not the star of this show, right? So they're gonna come up, and then we're gonna have them do the 2 role plays, and then afterwards, I'm going to go into our presentation and, you know, just discuss, you know, what the do's and don'ts of helping our sisters. Okay. Okay. So, but you have, so can you do like who was?
Me and her.
Okay. Yeah. Can you? Yeah.
Oh, no, I don't want that. Sorry.
Okay. So we'll turn you off the camera so that but just so that we can hear you. You don't want, okay. All right. So, do you mind being on camera? Okay. All right. Okay. Can you don't want to pretend like you're not on camera and then okay. All right. So were you the who were you?
At first I was not good, and then I was good.
Oh, so
I wasn't doing the story. I wasn't,
okay.
The only one I didn't do was.
Do you have a idea or something?
Okay. All right. So all right. So you all right. So okay. All right. So I will be. You can come up here, and since we don't have the other sister yet, I'm trying to get the mic in front. Okay. So you can be our not so nice person.
Oh, all right.
Okay. All right. So Assalamualaikum, sis.
Walaikum salam.
I just want to, you know, I can't take it anymore. I just, you know, like, I just can't take it anymore. I just, you know, my husband, he's just so mean to me all the time. And I just feel like I just need to tell somebody about what's going on in my life.
What are you doing?
You know, he doesn't give me any money. You know, he doesn't speak to me. He ignores me all the time, you know, and then he gets angry and throws things at me. I'm just so afraid all the time.
So he's not giving you any of his money? That's like his money, you mean?
Yes, but I mean, it's his money, but I don't work. Like, where am I supposed to get money from?
Well, he pays the bills, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Well, that's all you need, right?
No, but like, I mean, what about you think that's okay?
I mean, if the bills are paid, I don't know what else you can ask for. You got clothes on your back and you got a roof over your head and food in your belly.
But I'm so miserable all the time. Like, you know, I don't believe that Allah just wants me to be miserable like this.
Yeah, maybe just pray more.
Pray.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you, sis.
You're welcome.
Thank you.
Was that terrible? That felt terrible.
You know, I felt, this is how I felt. When you tell me I'm a Muslim and you tell me to pray, then what else can I do? Like, I can't say anything else.
That's
do you
like
know
an
what I mean?
automatic shutdown.
Right. Like, you just shut me down. Like, you know, okay, this is it. Clearly you don't want to help me. Clearly you don't want to talk to me. Anybody else? What do you think, guys? Any feedback? Huh?
No, just telling
you. I mean, but that's not unrealistic, right? It's not like, that's not like a make believe, right? You'll meet a sister who will tell you, just pray, you know, just pray and everything. Read Quran, just pray, have sabr, just fast, you know, you know, he pays the bills. That's enough. Right?
I had a sister that told me one time at the mosque, she said to me, the only thing, stop crying. The only thing you got to do is pray to Allah and give him sex every day.
Yeah.
That's what she said to me. And I was like, what?
Yeah. You know, you got, you know, Asiya was married to Fir'aun, you know, like, is your husband is your husband Fir'aun? You know, look how bad Fir'aun was, you know, she got Jannah. Like, you know, sister, you be happy in Jannah. You know what I'm saying? Right. Okay, so that's such a beautiful picture.
Yeah, it is.
All right. So let's do one more role play quickly of a nice person and how we, you know, how we could change the narrative. Okay. All right. Okay. Assalamualaikum, sis.
Walaikum salam. What's the matter?
I don't know, man. I just, you know, having a rough time of life.
What's going on?
just life. My husband, you know, like, I don't even know. It's just too much. It's too much.
Sometimes it is too much, but that's why you need to lean on other people. So if you let me know somewhere, maybe I can help you and give you some advice.
Well, you know, my husband, he doesn't give me any money. You know, he's always screaming and shouting. I'm so afraid at home all the time. You know, I just like, I don't know what to do.
Have you sat down and had an honest conversation with him and told him how you feel and how these things make you feel?
I try, but then it just always ends up to be a screaming match. I just, you know, yeah.
Have you tried talking with someone else, a professional, a therapist, trying to get him into therapy, and someone who is a professional at it? And
no, I haven't. I mean, I just don't think if I tried to do that, I don't think that he would go for it. I just don't.
You don't. Well, you know, there is a limit to what people can take, and I don't want to tell you to walk away, but you know, you have to think about yourself and your needs. And if he's not meeting your needs, and that's not just monetary, but that's emotional and everything. If he's not meeting your needs, then you need to think about it critically. If he's not willing to get help and he's not willing to change, then, you know, you need to look at it. And it's really scary, but yeah.
Okay.
It sounds like he needs some help.
All right. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Assalamualaikum.
Walaikum salam.
All right. What do we think about that? What do you think? You think that was good?
I like that one. But
you like
is
that
she
one?
A teacher? She hit you with the critical thinking.
I know, right?
That gave me teacher vibes. I was like, wait.
I was like, okay, all right. So I go think critically. Okay, so ways that we can make a difference, right? Definitely when a sister comes to you, or you find that, you know, somebody entrusts you, they feel like you are their safe space, you definitely don't want to blame the sister, you know. And what does blame look like? Blame looks like, I'm sorry, Ashley. Blame looks like, well, why did you send an email? Maybe it would have been better if you had spoken, because you don't think that you don't think that you're blaming, right? But somebody who is in an abusive situation is already full of self-blame. Do you understand what I'm saying? Right? They are already in that place where they think, because that's what they're told all the time. Well, Khalidah, if your mouth wasn't so big. Well, Khalidah, if you just listened. Well, Khalidah, if you just did this, if you just did that, that's what that person is already living, right? So when you now, as the listener, when your response is, well, did you do this? Or did you do that? Or have you done this? Or have you done that? Then that's going to be received as blame. All right. So we have to be really careful not to blame, right? Because the person is already predisposed to blame. Don't doubt the person. Oh, but I know your husband. I see him every day at the masjid. He's such a nice brother, mashallah, you know, like he's so good with the kids, right? The moment you come with that, again, you are shutting that person down, because it's already taking that person everything that is in them for them to come to you and tell you in the first place, right? So the one thing they don't want is for you to, you know, automatically show your loyalty, if you want to call it that, for the other person and say, no, I just don't believe that could be possible, right? Don't judge. Oh, well, you know, maybe you need to critically think, right? Because maybe I don't know how to critically think. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't know how to. I can't critically think because I have been emotionally stripped, right? Because I've been in this relationship for years, and every day, 5 times a day, another strip gets ripped off of me. I don't even know what is okay and what's not okay anymore. I am absorbed with surviving. And, you know, I lived in an abusive relationship for 17 years. And when I look back at some of the things and some of the decisions that I made, I'm embarrassed. I'm embarrassed, right? You know, like I have to go and I have to beg people's forgiveness because I was in survival mode. And when you're in survival mode, it's not about critical thinking. It's not about what is okay and what's not okay. And do you understand what I'm saying? It's just about how can I get through this day without getting hurt? Do you know what I mean? How can I get through this without making any waves? So it's easy to feel judged, even if you don't mean to judge that person. So you have to be really careful about what it is that you're saying. Do you know what I mean? So really, you can't blame, you can't doubt, and you can't judge. So what are you going to do? Right? You have to be that voice of reassurance. I'm so sorry that you are going through that. Well, how is it making you feel? Well, how can I help you? Right? So instead of, because we as women, we're problem solvers, right? You bring a problem to me, I'm going to solve it for you. But maybe that sister doesn't want you to solve her problems. She just wants somebody to listen to her. Do you understand what I'm saying? I don't want you to tell me to leave my man. I don't want you to tell me what I should do and what I shouldn't do and what is okay and what's not okay, because I might not be ready to hear any of that advice. And so any advice that you give me, it might drop on me the wrong way, right? Because it might make me feel like, you know, if I was smarter, if I was stronger, if I was something else, then this wouldn't be happening to me. Look, this person, you're so much smarter than me because you have all the answers and I don't. Do you know what I'm saying? So we had to be really careful about how we help. And the way that we help is just to be that reassuring person. Allah loves you. Allah did not put you here to suffer. And Allah loves you, right? One of my favorite ayah is, وَمَن يَتَّقِ اللَّهَ, and he who puts his trust in Allah, he who does his duty to Allah, يَجْعَلْ لَهُ مَخْرَجًا, then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives you a way out of every difficulty, right? وَيَرْزُقُهُ مِنْ حَيْثُ لَا يَحْتَسِبُ, and he gives you your sustenance from places you can never have imagined. وَمَن يَتَوَكَّلْ عَلَى اللَّهِ فَهُوَ حَسْبُهُ, and he who puts his trust in Allah, then Allah is sufficient for him. Just be that person to just reassure that person, Allah loves you. And Allah's not going to see you and leave you alone, right? Don't be you don't have to give that person any solutions, right? Because believe me, that sister knows what she can and cannot do, right? Validate, just let that person know that they love you. You love that person. You appreciate the fact that they've trusted you. Thank you for sharing that with me, sis. I feel so honored that you have come to me and that you have trusted me enough to share that information with me, because I know that it must have been really difficult for you to sit here and say that, right? And I am so sorry that you are going through that. And I'm here for you in any way that you want me to be here, right? Because the most important thing is for you to help me the way that I need help, right? Don't help me the way that you want to help me, because your way might not be my way. You see, this is what happens. A sister comes to you and she tells you all of this, then you swoop her up and you take her out of the home and you put her in a shelter. And then guess what? Next week, where is she? Back with her man. You know what? I did all of this. We raised all of that money. We found her this home. We did all of this. And look, she went right back to him. And now y'all are gonna mad at me because I went back to my man, right? Because I wasn't ready to leave. You understand? Right? Because when I'm ready, I'll do that. So don't start coming and you just have all of these solutions, because then you're gonna get mad when I don't take your help the way that you want to help me, right? But if you ask me, what can I do for you? Then I can tell you what I want you to do for me, right? And then you become a valuable person, right? So, and don't betray the trust of the sister. Astaghfirullah wa atubu ilayk. Sisters, man, we just like, this is something that we are so terrible at. You know, when I was going through my issues, I lived in Jamaica, right? It's an island, right? Anybody that's come from somewhere else other than America, you know what it's like to live island life, right? Everybody knows your business, okay? Like you hang your clothes up on the line, they'd be like, oh, you know, when she washed her clothes and the white vest had a red stain on it, right? You know what I'm saying, right? So I confided in this sister once, right? You know, and here I am living on this side of the island, and I'm confided with this sister on this side of the island. Why is my business all the way on the other side of the island? People on the other side of the island. It went
all the wrong business on the other side of the island.
Right? It went all the way around the island and came back to my husband. And then you know what? My husband confronted the sister, and he confronted her in front of me. And you know what that sister said? She said, brother, if your wife didn't tell me anything, I would not have had anything to say. Do you know that crushed me? That crushed me. Do you understand what I'm saying? Because she was right. If I didn't tell you, then you wouldn't have had anything to say. So then what does that do? That just puts me behind another wall. I can't tell my family. I can't tell my friends. Now so who does that leave me with? That leaves me with nobody, right? Because my trust was betrayed. And it's going to take a long time for me now to trust again, right? So it's really, really important. We had to understand that when somebody comes to you and discloses to you, it's an amana, right? And you might be the person that saved that sister's life, right? Understand that it's statistically, when a woman is in an abusive situation, she leaves 7 times before she really leaves. So what does that mean? She leaves and she goes back. 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 By that time, everybody's done with her. She leaves and she goes back, and then she leaves 7 times. You know what I did? I was living in Jamaica. I called up my mom. I finally told my mom everything. She said, oh my God, she sent me a ticket. I shipped all of my stuff back to England, right? He was on a trip in America. So I shipped all of my stuff back to England, and I had a plane ticket. I got a plane ticket. My flight was from Jamaica to America, and then from America to London. By the time I got to America, we had made back up. Right? We made back up in America. I mean, I had gone back before I even left. You understand what I'm saying? My things were on the way to England, and I had made back up with him. You know? And I stayed with him for another, I don't know, maybe 10 years. Maybe I don't even know how long, because I was with him for 17 years. And I was leaving 6 months after I married him. I was leaving. Okay, I spent 17 years leaving. In my brain, I knew this relationship was never going to be forever, right? But I always said, the next time he does it, I'm going to leave. The next time he does it, I'm going to leave. The next time he does it, I'm going to leave. I said that to myself so many times, and there was always a next time. And there was always a next time. And I was in that relationship for 17 years, you know, because sometimes it's easier to do nothing. Do you know what I'm saying? Like, I was waiting for a lot to do. I calculated, okay, this man is 17 years older than me. So that means he's going to die. When he dies, I'm still going to be alive, right? Because he's 17. Like, you know, like, well, I'll just wait for him to die and then I'll be happy. Like, you know, like I had all these things in my brain about how I was going to emancipate myself, right? But the day when I was ready to leave was the day when I was ready to leave. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's important that we don't judge each other, right? Any feedback?
I just want to say something. It's like
when you said about the reassurance and all these things, it's important also to tell them that this is not Islam.
This is not Islam, exactly.
They kind of like,
I was gonna say that.
they say, okay, well, if this is how the Muslims are, I don't want Islam.
Right. And that's why it's, you know, especially like when we say, okay, well, sister, just pray. Oh, sister, just have sabr.
Right.
You know, well, he is the man. And yeah, and yeah,
What Islam really tells
exactly.
you as what is your right.
Right, right. And we had to be, because many women, I have a friend who left Islam, right? Left Islam, like took off her hijab and everything and left Islam. And why did she leave Islam? Because of the abusive man that she married, right? Because if this is what Islam is, then why? I don't want anything to do with that. So you are, yes, thank you for saying that. It's very important for us in the reassurance to make sure that we let our sisters know that this is not Islam. And Allah doesn't require, you know what, something that's really important. Allah doesn't require our hardship. Allah doesn't require for us to sit down and be Asiya married to Fir'aun, right? Allah doesn't require that from us. This is not our ticket to Jannah, right? To just sit down and live this miserable existence, right? And we don't want to tell, not only do we not want to tell our sisters that, we don't want to tell our daughters that, right? Because we want to make sure that we're raising healthy women that understand healthy boundaries. All right.
I have found out that a lot of men marry reverts. And, you know, when you're a revert and you're starting to know Islam, you don't know everything. And these guys take advantage of that situation. And they infect culture before they follow Islam.
Right. And the other sister, what's your name?
Javiria.
Yokito. Thank you, Javiria. Yukiko, you wanted to say something?
Hello.
Hi.
Yes.
Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. I just want to ask you, what about the role of your in-laws?
Wait until they're calling the adhan. Can we just wait a second?
Okay. It's fine.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله.
أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. أشهد أن محمدا رسول الله. لا حول ولا قوة إلا بالله. 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 الله أكبر الله أكبر. لا إله إلا الله. اللهم رب هذه الدعوة التامة والصلاة القائمة آت محمد الوسيلة والفضيلة وبعثه مقاما محمودا الذي وآتيه كلمة الأنبياء. Okay, Yukiko, you were saying.
Yes. My question is, what about the role of in-laws or father-in-law, mother-in-law for these 6 steps? What are their roles in Islam? Because I come from non-Muslim family, so
I mean, what are you saying? Like, how should they? I mean, this is universal advice. It doesn't matter what what, whether you're a sister in the masjid, whether you're the mother-in-law or the father-in-law. I mean, these are just like some basic rules of how you assist a person, right? Because the moment you do any of these don'ts, then you then make yourself the person that's not going to be able to help, right? I am a mother-in-law, and when my son and his wife are having a dispute, then as a mother-in-law, I have to be able to remain neutral, right? Because if I don't remain, and when I say remain neutral, it means I have to be able to speak to the wife and help the wife, but I also have to be able to speak to my son and help my son, right? If I'm going to be like, oh, my son, and you're such a bad woman, and it's because you didn't do this and you didn't, then she's not going to have any faith or any trust in anything that I say. Then I'm just useless in the relationship. Then I just become a meddler. The only way that I can be a productive person in their relationship is to be able to speak to his faults and speak to her faults, and and also be able to speak to them in a way that is going to bring them back together, right? Which requires for me to fear Allah and be honest. It requires for me not to blame anybody and not to judge anybody, but to just, at the same time, I can say, well, this conversation could have gone differently if we had done that, because that's my role as a mother-in-law, right? But if I'm the sister in the masjid, then, that's probably not my role at that point. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yes. Understand. Okay.
And anyone else? Because I think we are kind of like wrapping up time.
Yeah, can I say something? I mean, usually it's better to go like when someone does not know how to do an advice, or like they don't know how, like they don't have the knowledge, for example, what Islam says or anything like that. It's better to refer them to someone who knows, and be empathic with them. Like,
right. Yeah. I mean, but the thing is when some, right. And that's why you have to be a listener. Yeah. When somebody comes to you, the most important thing to be for that person is a listener, right? Because when you start being a listener, then you're going to hear what that person needs, right? Does that person need to speak to an imam? Does that person need a social worker? Do I need to be the person that reports? I used to live underneath a couple, and he used to grab her and drag her through the hallway and beat her like on a regular basis. And every time he did it, I would call the police. And when the police would come to the door, she would tell the police everything was fine. Someone would say, well, why would you keep calling the police? Because I'm not going to be downstairs and he kill her that one time I don't call the police. So I'm going to call the police every single time. Right? I know even though she told the police that everything was okay, I know she was glad that they came and stopped at that particular time. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be, just because you are, just because that person, what's going on, it doesn't mean that you are going to be the one that's going to solve the problem, right? You don't, and again, that comes back to not being a problem solver. Don't try to be a problem solver. Be a listener. If you can give a word directed to the right, then you give that word directed to the right. And if you don't have anything productive to say, then khalas, just be a listener. I'm sorry, sis, and I'll make dua for you. Because sometimes that's all we can do, inshallah. And next time we'll move forward, and we can talk about the different kinds of helps that are out there for people. There are many things, right, that we can do, and we'll go on to that next time. Okay. Any questions? All right, so I'm going to end here. Subhanakallahumma bihamdihi, subhanakallahumma bihamdika, nashhadu an la ilaha illa anta, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Jazakallah khair, everyone. I hope you feel like this was a bit more upbeat and a bit more fun and not so sad, happy, cry. this time round. All right. Inshallah, see you, I guess, next month. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Wa alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
Alaikum salam.
All right. So, Celeste. Oh, yeah. All right. Thank you, sister.
It was a lot of